Hello folks, I'm Karupaya and I work in the TCE release engineering team here at VMware. Today I want to introduce you to the TCE release engineering team and what we do. So this is the team. This is Arpita, this is Priya, Aman, and then that's me, that's Rajas, and then that's Naveen. So what do we do? So we take care of broadly the TCE build, test, and release. So let's look at how we do TCE build first. So these are all the pipelines in TCE. So we'll be looking at the build pipelines. So we have the build dev or staging pipeline, and then we have a daily official build pipeline. So this dev or staging pipeline is actually triggered every time there is a Golang or like shell script code change, uh, any Golang related code change in shell script. And there is also, so this is an example of that. This simply does a full build and then checks if the build is good and not broken. So the build has to work. And then we have daily official builds, which gets triggered every once in a day. So you can see how this has been triggered, 15 hours ago, and then this 2 days ago, and like every day. And then we also have, so this is an example of the daily build. Uh, so we also have builds happening when we do a release, of course. And as part of the release, a build happens internally, and then like we do the release. And we also have different kinds of releases like RC, GA, and then there's also a test release that happens. All of these also do a build basically. And we also have build happening in a check where we do a complete, a run of the build, and then we also do some basic checks. So let's look at how we do test and release too. But before that, Aman will be showing us how we do, checks like linting the code, Golang code, and more.
Now we will talk about another effort by TC release engineering team that are linters. So linters are the pre-checks which will run whenever the new PR will raise, assign or reopen. These linters resides under Community Edition hack directory. So as you can see, image linter is there. Currently URL linter is outside the TCE repo and the other linters resides under check. So here misspell linter, MD lint and YML linter is there. So the basic functionality of these linters are image linter is checking all the OCI images. Currently it is restricting Alpine image. URL linter is checking all the URLs whether they are returning the valid status code or not. Misspell linter is checking all the spellings in all the files. MD lint is for markdown and YML linter is checking whether all the YML files is following the rules set by YML linter or not. For the logs, you can navigate to actions and here are all the pass and fail logs.
Now that we've seen about linters, which are also kind of like tests because they verify the code at some basic level for many things. We'll be looking at other tests that we have in our TC code base. So we have end-to-end tests over here. So you can see that we have end-to-end tests for the management cluster on Docker, and then standalone cluster on Docker, and then AWS management and workload cluster, AWS standalone cluster, same for Azure management and workload, Azure standalone, and then the same for vSphere management and workload, and then vSphere standalone. So we also have end-to-end tests for plugins apart from the standalone cluster plugin, management cluster plugin, and workload cluster plugin. There are plugins like diagnostics plugin, and then there's conformance plugin. As of now, we just have an end-to-end test for the diagnostics plugin, uh, and we also have like extra checks for diagnostics plugin over here. And we also do some tests at the package level, the TCE packages, which is, for example, Grafana, Prometheus, Gatekeeper. So we have test scripts to run tests for these packages on top of any Kubernetes cluster, including TCE cluster. So we currently just run the gatekeeper, and we plan to run more package tests in these pipelines. As of now, we run gatekeeper tests mostly. And apart from test, the final thing that we do in the TC release engineering team is, of course, the releases, which we already spoke about. So we have the GA release, RC beta release, and then there's a fake pipeline to help us with testing. So these releases happen in the GitHub releases. So you can see that here. So this is a stable release, and you can also see RC releases over here. And we also do releases on other you know venues, like say Chocolatey, for which we have tests, and but we are yet to actually do an automation to automate publishing to Chocolatey. We do have an automation to publish to Homebrew, and we also have other venues where we publish, but we are yet to do automation for that, which is VMware Customer Connect and then Tanzu Network. So that's all about build, test, release, including linting. So if you have any questions, shoot, and we should be able to respond to you over Slack or on GitHub issues.